Assalamu alaikum everyone. Thanks for coming back for part 2 of my Ahlul Sunnah are not familiar with the Prophet's Sunnah chapter. Reading from the book The Shia, the real followers of the Sunnah. And I shall continue where I left off in part 1. Al-Bukhari quotes a tradition that was narrated by Ibn Umar. During the lifetime of the Prophet, we did not regard anyone as being the peer of Abu Bakr, then Umar, then Uthman. Then we leave the rest of the Prophet's companions without making any distinction among them. Upon the premises of this tradition, which the Messenger of Allah neither mandates nor endorses, but one which is no more than the brainchild of Abdullah ibn Umar and his biased views and well-known grudge and animosity towards Ali, do Ahlul Sunnah wal Juma'ah base their sect and justify their attitude as to why they did not recognize Ali's caliphate. It is through traditions such as this one that Banu Umayyah permitted cursing, condemning, taunting, and belittling Ali. Their rulers since the reign of Muawiyah until the days of Marwan ibn Muhammad ibn Marwan in 132 Al-Hijrah ordered the cursing of Ali from its pulpits. All those who supported him or did not endorse such animosity were killed. Then the Abbasid government started in 132 Al-Hijrah, which was the year 750 AD, with the reign of Abul Abbas al-Safa, also known as the Bloodshedder. It was then that dissociation in various means from Ali and from those who supported him continued, and the means of this dissociation varied according to the then prevailing conditions and circumstances, because the Abbasid dynasty was erected on the ruins of Ahlul Bayt and those who followed their line. Some rulers, if the government's interest demanded, did not publicly curse Ali, but were secretly doing more than what the Umayyads did. They learned from the historic experience which highlighted the oppression to which Ahlul Bayt and their supporters were subjected. Such oppression drew the sympathy of people to them. Therefore, the rulers cunningly tried to tilt the situation in their favor. They, therefore, sought to be close to the Imams from Ahlul Bayt, not out of love for them, nor recognizing their confiscated rights, but in order to contain the public uprisings which broke out near the borders and which threatened the government's very existence. This is what Al-Ma'mun, son of Harun al-Rashid, had done to Imam Ali ibn Musa al-Rida. But when the government was in full control and internal dissent was contained, it went to extremes in insulting these Imams and their Shias, as the Abbasid Caliph al-Mutawakkil did. He became quite famous for his hatred of Ali and for cursing him and even desecrating his grave and the grave of his son al-Hussein. It is because of these facts that we have said that Ahlul Sunnah wal Juma'ah refused to recognize the legitimacy of Ali's caliphate till many years after Ahmad ibn Hanbal. It is true that Ahmad ibn Hanbal was the first person to promote this notion, but he could not convince the scholars of Hadith, as we have pointed out, to adopt his view due to their following in the footprints of Abdullah ibn Umar. A long time was needed to convince people of it and to let them accept Ahmad ibn Hanbal's view, a view which might have presented the Hanbalis as seeking justice and nearness to Ahlul Bayt. This distinguished them from other Sunni sects such as the Malikis, Hanafis, and the Shafi'is, who were vying to gain supporters. They, therefore, had no choice except to accept the view and adopt it. As time passed by, Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah became unanimous in endorsing Ahmad ibn Hanbal's view, and they agreed to make Ali the fourth of the righteous caliphs, regarding the faithful to respect him as much as they respected the other three. Is this then not the greatest proof that Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah were Nasabis who hated Ali and tried their best to belittle and disrespect him? One may ask the following question: how can this be true while we nowadays see Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah loving Imam Ali and seeking Allah to be pleased with him? We say, yes, after the passage of time and the death of the Imams from Ahlul Bayt, the rulers had no worry, nor did they face any threat against their government, and when the dignity of the Islamic government disappeared and the Mamluks, Moguls, and Tatars took control of it, and when the creed weakened and many Muslims were diverted with arts, singing, amusement, promiscuity, wine, and concubines, And when one generation succeeded another that lost the prayers following its own low desires, then when right seemed wrong and wrong seemed right, when corruption prevailed on the land and on the sea, it was then and only then that Muslims eulogized their ancestors and sung the praise of their glory. It was then that they yearned for their past history and legacy, calling them their golden ages. The best of times, from their viewpoint, is the age of the Sahaba, who conquered many lands, expanded the Islamic kingdom in the east and the west, subduing the Kaisers and Caesars. It was then that they started praying to Allah to be pleased with all of them, including Ali ibn Abu Talib, became acceptable, because Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah believe in their justice, all of them, that they could not exclude Ali from their list of Sahaba. Had they excluded him, their scheme would have become evident to everyone who is wise and who researches, so they misled the public into believing that the fourth caliph was the gate of knowledge, Ali ibn Abu Talib. Allah glorified his countenance. We ask them, why do you then refuse to emulate him with regard to your religious and secular matters if you truly believe that he was the gate of knowledge? Why did you deliberately forsake the gate and prefer to emulate Abu Hanifa, Malik, Ash-Shafi'i, and Ibn Hanbal, as well as Ibn Taymiyyah, those who do not even come close to the loftiness of Ali's deeds, merits, and honorable descent? For what is the distance between the earth and the Pleiades? Or how can one compare the sword with the sickle? Or how can one compare Muawiyah to Ali if you only follow reason? All this can be said where one is set aside all the ahadith narrated about the Messenger of Allah, mandating upon all Muslims to follow Imam Ali after the Prophet and to emulate him. Someone among Ahlul Sunnah may say, Ali's merits, his being the foremost in embracing Islam, his jihad in the case of Islam, his deep knowledge, his great honors, and his asceticism are known to all people. Rather, Ahlul Sunnah know and love Ali more than the Shias do. Such is the statement repeated by many of them these days. To these we say, where were you, and where were your ancestors and scholars when Ali was being cursed from the pulpits for hundreds of years? We never heard, nor does history document any fact that even one single person among them resented it, or prohibited it, or was killed because of his loyalty and love for Ali. Imagine if they were doing that with Umar. Of course, they would lay down their lives for Umar to stop that from happening. And I will leave it there for today from this book, and I will continue again tomorrow, but stay tuned for my next video, inshallah, and until then, stay blessed.